Hey y'all. Now a few of you were worried about the moles calculations, and so what I've decided to do is put together a video for you that goes through the mole calculations in a different way. You have access to all the things that we've done before, but I'm going to go through specifically using the equations in your formula packet. All right. Now there are 3 mole calculations that you need to be comfortable with. Technically 4. We'll talk about the other one in just a moment. The first one is going between N, which is moles, and mass, right? And so we know that to go from moles to mass, we need to use the molar mass of the substance, and we'll go through that in a minute. Okay, the second type of mole calculation that you need is going from moles to the number of particles. Now the number of particles would be the number of molecules if we're talking about molecules, or it would be the number of atoms if it's an individual atom. Like the example I have up here on the board, it would be the number of HCl molecules or the number of zinc atoms, right? Because zinc, there's just one of them, so that would just be an atom. But it's the number of units there, right? Now that, of course, is connected through Avogadro's number, right? The Na. Okay? Next, we have how to go between moles and the volume. Now this only works for gases, all right? So make sure that we only use this with gases. Now, there's a couple of numbers that will be helpful to you. Some of these numbers are actually given to you in your formula packet. Okay, so the first one is the Na, the Avogadro's number. So if you look right here, Avogadro's constant, that's Na equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So you don't even need to remember that one. It's given to you. Okay, so 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And that's how many items there are in a mole. Just like there's 12 items in a dozen, there are 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd items in a mole. Okay, the other number that it gives you is the molar volume. Now remember, this is molar volume of a gas at SATP. And so the molar volume that they give us is 24.8 decimeters cubed per mole. So that's this one right here. Molar volume is 24.8 decimeters cubed per mole, right? So actually we have most of what we need, and we just need to put the numbers into these equations appropriately to be able to get to the right thing. Now a reminder, everything is going to go through moles, right? Moles is the connection. You cannot go from grams of one substance to grams of different substance. You have to go from grams to moles. We can go from moles to moles, and then we can go back to grams again, if you remember the chart that we'd written up before. But the whole big idea of that chart was you got to go through moles. So I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so here we go. So I've got zinc and hydrochloric acid, which is turning into zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Now, on an assessment, we might ask you to balance the equation first. I've already done that because the focus of this video is on the moles calculations, not the balancing. Okay, so the question is, if I react 60 grams of hydrochloric acid, okay, so 60 grams of this with sufficient zinc. So now, very often we'll just say that there's enough zinc, right? So there's plenty of zinc. We did this in a couple of our labs. I said, just put in this much, it's more than enough, right? So a lot of times we do it that way. You could actually do a calculation here to figure out how much zinc you need in order to react perfectly with 60 grams of hydrochloric acid, at least to the level of our understanding at this point. You could do that. It would be very similar to what we're about to do with the hydrogen gas, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, I'm starting with 60 grams of hydrochloric acid. I'm trying to find the volume of hydrogen gas. Now, regardless of what this question is, if they give me grams to start with, the first thing I'm going to have to do is turn that into moles. All right, so I'm going to find the equation over here that connects grams and moles. Okay, so if you'll look, that would be this first one. The mass divided by the molar mass will give me the moles. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write down the moles of HCl is equal to the mass of the HCl divided by the molar mass. Now molar mass, I've written out molar mass here. In class, we often use the capital M for the molar mass, okay? So this is just that equation that I've rewritten with the HCl's on there. Now I'm gonna put in the numbers that I have, right? So in this situation, I don't know the moles of HCl. That's what I'm gonna look for. I do know the mass of the HCl. It's telling me I got 60 grams of HCl. So I'm going to put 60 up on the top. Now I need to divide by the molar mass of HCl. Now, molar mass, remember, all you have to do is you have to look up those elements in your table of elements. Yep, sorry, that's upside down. And we add up the masses of each of those. And the mass is the small number that's down at the bottom. So for hydrogen, it would be 1.0080. And then for chlorine, it would be 35.45. Okay, so those numbers are these small numbers down below the name of the element, not the big number up at the top. Remember, that's the atomic number. That's the number of protons there are, the number of electrons that there are, if the atom is neutral. So we're looking for the mass, which is basically the average sum of the protons and neutrons, more or less. All right, so when we put all that together, I add the hydrogen and the chlorine together, and I get 36.458. And so I'm going to put that down. And so I'm going to go 60 divided by 36.548, and I'm going to get 1.65 moles of HCl. Now, it's important here that you write out your units. Okay, so I'm writing out that this is moles. I'm writing out that this is HCl. I don't just want to put moles because I have 4 different substances here. And if I just write 1.65 moles, I might forget that this is hydrochloric acid, not one of the other things, right? The other thing I don't want to do is just write 1.65 HCl, because remember, we've got moles, we've got grams, we've got number of particles, we've got volume, we've got a lot of different things here, and you might forget which one it is. So I would always recommend writing out 1.65 moles of HCl, okay? Now, remember, that was our first goal. That's the first thing you do. Anything, regardless of what they give you to start with, you're going to turn it into moles first. Now, in this example, I was given the grams, right? But based off of what they give you, you can put it in any of these. Maybe they tell you the number of particles. So you put the number of particles and you divide by 6.02 times 10 to the root of 3. Maybe they give you the volume. Take the volume, divide by the molar volume, which is 24.8, right? So getting it to moles is just pretty straightforward. You just put it into one of these equations and you should be able to solve for N. The hardest one actually is the one that we just did because we had to figure out what the molar mass was. Everything else, you just put in the numbers which are given to you on the sheet, and you should be able to find the number of moles. All right, so now that I have the number of moles of HCl, my next step is then to connect it to hydrogen gas, because I'm not really interested in how much HCl I have. What I want to know is how much H2 will I get. Now, I can't go straight to volume. I can go from moles to moles. And the way that I do that is through a molar ratio. Remember the equation up here, when we balanced it, essentially we said, I need 1 of these, 2 of these, and that will give me 1 of these and 1 of those, right? That's all based off of the coefficients. That's what the coefficients are saying. I need 1 of these, 2 of these, and I get 1 of those and 1 of those. All right, now if it works for 1 molecule, then it also works for moles. I could use 1 mole of this, and I would get 2 moles of that, or sorry, I would need 2 moles of this. And then I would get 1 mole of that and 1 mole of that. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to take that 1.65 moles, okay, so I'm going to write that down here, of HCl, and we're going to use a molar ratio. So the molar ratio compares the number of HCl in my equation to the number of whatever it is I'm looking for, which in this case is the H2. All right, now remember, I want the HCl to cancel out. So in my molar ratio, I'm going to put moles of HCl on the bottom. because then the HCl is going to cancel out. And I'm going to put moles of what I'm looking for, the H2, up at the top. And if I do that, then what I end up with, by looking at the equation, is I can see that if I have 2 HCl's, I end up with 1 hydrogen gas, just like that. And so now I just do the math. I do this times 1 over 2, which should make sense. This shows that I have twice as much HCl as I do H. So I should end up with less H than what I started with, the HCl. And so I'm going to take that 1.6, it was 645,729. So I'm going to take, I wrote this down because I don't want to write down all 10 digits or 13 or whatever the calculator gives me. But I'm going to use that number and I'm multiply by 1 and divide by 2. And I get 0.822,864. So I'm going to write down 0.823. And this, because HCl has canceled out, gives me moles of H2. Now that part you do have to do a little bit of thinking for, right? Because you have to come up with the mole ratio on your own, and you have to figure out which one goes on top of the fraction, which one goes on the bottom. But the one you have will always go on bottom so that you can cancel out. There's actually not a lot of thinking. You just have to put it on the bottom so that it cancels out. All right? So now I'm left with this. Now I know how many moles of H2 there are, right? So now that I know the moles of H2, I can go wherever I want, right? Because I can go from moles to mass, I can go from moles to number of particles, I can go from moles to gas volume. So I can go from moles to wherever I want because of the 3 equations that I have on my formula sheet, okay? So the first one, it's asking what volume of H2 will I get. So let's use the one that's going to give us volume. So that's going to be this one right here. So I'm going to write down the equation, okay? So I'm going to go the moles of H2 is equal to the volume, and actually I'm going to shorten that. I don't want to write out the whole thing. We're just going to go the volume of H2, so that's this, the gas volume, divided by the molar volume, all right? Now, that's not the molar volume of H2, that's the molar volume of all gases at SATP. So now, I know the moles of H2, so I'm going to put that in. That was 0.823 equals the volume of H2, that's what I'm looking for, divided by the molar volume, which is in my formula sheet, it's 24.8. And that is decimeters cubed per mole. And so now all I have to do is I have to solve the problem. So I'm going to take that 0.823. I need to get the 24.8 off the bottom of the fraction. This is just algebra. This is not chemistry anymore. This is just algebra, right? The only chemistry is understanding the concepts of volume and moles and things like that. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to multiply it by 24.8, and I get 20.4. I'm just going to go with 20.4 because I've been going 3 sig figs. So the volume of H2 is equal to 20.4 decimeters cubed. Now, if it asks for centimeters cubed or milliliters, you can always look that up, right? They do tell us here that 1 decimeter cubed is 1,000 centimeters cubed, and you can make that conversion if you want. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to focus on the moles. All right, so I have actually answered part A here, which is 20.4 decimeters cubed, and this is the volume of my H2, okay? Now, the last part of this question asks us to find, well, how many molecules of H2 will I get? Well, again, I'm going to go to my equations here, and I need to connect to the number of molecules. So that's going to be this right here, the number of particles, right? I'm not looking for mass, I'm not looking for volume, I'm looking for this. So I'm going to write down this equation right here. So the moles of H2 will equal the number of particles, and the particles in this case are molecules. So I'm going to write down number of molecules. Okay, I'm not going to shorten molecules because if I write MOL, that makes me think mole, and if I write MOLE, that also makes me think mole. So I'm just going to, it's just simpler, just write out the number of molecules. You can actually put N, capital N if you want. Capital N represents the number of items or the number of particles there, so that would be fine. So number of molecules divided by Avogadro's number, or Avogadro's constant. So now I know that the moles of H2 are 0.823. That's not new. That's the same thing that we've been doing. That should be equal to then the number of molecules. So this time I'm going to go ahead and put the N of the H2, and that's going to be divided by Avogadro's number, which is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Just like that. And so I should then be able to calculate for this, right? I just need to take the thing on the bottom, multiply both sides, and I should be able to get my answer there. So I'm going to take that 0.823, I'm going to multiply by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And remember, when you do times 10 to the 23rd, you can do 6.02 capital E on your calculator and then 23. You don't have to put times 10 to the, in fact, it's better if you don't, because then you have less to worry about in the mathematics. So use the capital E, that puts it in times 10 to the notation, okay? And then you push enter. It should look something like this. Yeah, I can see it there. So you can see the 6.02 E 23rd. Sorry, there's a little bit of glare there, but I think you got it. And you can see that I have a 495 there, right? 4.95. And then over on this side right here, like right here, you can see that there's a little 23 up in the corner there. It actually, on my calculator, I can see it's times 10 to the 23rd. And so my final answer is going to be 4.95 times 10 to the 23rd. And that is how many molecules of hydrogen gas that I get. All right, that's it. I showed you, I reminded you how to use each of these. All you have to do is pick the right equation and put the numbers in, and then the algebra will take care of itself for you. You just have to do the correct algebra steps to get there. Okay? The other thing that I want you to just be really careful with is remember that you do have to go to moles first. And I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but it's important enough, I'm going to mention it again. Make sure whatever you start with, if you have no idea what else to do, go to moles first. Figure out which one of these three you have. Do you have volume? Do you have number of particles? Or do you have mass? And go from that to moles first. If you have a question that's asking about something else, that's probably what you need to do first. Okay? Once you have the moles, then you use the mole ratio to connect whatever it is that you have information about to whatever it is that you want information about. And I could connect this to that, right? I have 2 of these for one of those. I have 2 of these for one of those. So you can connect it to the products, the reactants, it doesn't matter, right? We very easily could have said, well, I want this much H2. How much of this do I need? And so I'd do the same thing, right? I'd start with the H2, I'd figure out the moles, I would use a mole ratio to turn it into the other one, and then once again I would use one of these to figure out whether I need the mass or the number of particles or the volume or whatever else. Okay? So I hope that's helpful. I hope that's a little review. Try this as you're doing your homework. You've got that packet. See if that'll help you, and we'll see you next time.